Hey guys, Jensen here once again, and today we are going to be taking a look at two very interesting level 1 defenses from our RNG and Mad Lions and how they followed up on those level 1 defenses. And we'll talk a little bit about how to respond in such scenarios. So the big picture here is how do you respond to opponent invades and what should the follow-up after that be like? And this is going to be a little bit of a what would you do thing. It's something a little bit more interactive. So here's the scenario, right? You're playing Lee Sin, you're the jungler on the red side team, and the opponent team, you see them walking in at about 126. So upon seeing this, you pull the rest of your team over, including your support to make sure that you have the numbers advantage, and you chase the enemy team out. So here's the situation. Now the timer in-game is 149. You have chased the opponent Lydia out in the resulting skirmish, you've blown a flash, she needs to recall. Uh, but in exchange for all of this, you've secured your red buff and your trash is now late to lane. What would you do at this point? I think there's four options for you to choose from. Option number one, invade the opponent blue. Option number two, full clear towards bot. Option number three, do 3 camps into topside crab, as it will be spawning slightly sooner as compared to the usual 4 camps or 5 camps clear due to the delayed start for both junglers. And option number four is to invade the opponent's red. Now pause the video here if you need some time to think about it. And in three, two, one. Well, before I present the answer, I'm going to be taking a look at the games that rose today and what each of these teams did. So for RNG in the initial defense, they went into invade the opponent's blue. It was the exact same scenario, it's just that some of the champions were changed around, and instead of Lee Sin, it was Wei on Viego instead. And to have the battle, the opponent top laner collapses to defend it, and although Wei did get the blue, so it was a rather funny moment with Whipple having 0 CS at 3 minutes, it did enable Whipple to directly play for the crab with the help of his top lane Olaf and go for a counter invade on the opponent's Raptors. Now, all of this ignores one very important fact. It's like this entire time, the bot lane is in shambles because you put your trash up to the top, because you put your support up to the top side of the map to help with the initial invade. In this case, it was the Rel for RNG. The Ashe and Pike on the side of Fnatic had perma prio on the bottom side of the map. They were pressuring, getting a huge CS lead for the Ashe, and on top of that, this also enables the Lee Sin to get access to the bot side quadrant of the jungle as well. Now this enables Burple on the Lee Sin to be able to take Viego's entire bot side quadrant, and as a result, Viego, away playing the Viego, had only access to his topside camps and was forced to play there. At 7 minutes and 23 seconds, he was way behind in the XP, being down 15 CS. That's about 4 camps in total, and Lee Sin hit first at level 6. Hit level 6 first at about 727 with 46 to 27 CS. Now, let's take a look at another example of this with a more positive way of how to handle the scenario. Now, this is Mad Lions versus Genji, something similar as well. However, it's flipped on the other side of the map. So we are going to be looking at this from Mad Lions' perspective, where they defended the uh, bot side invade from Genji, knowing that Kiana is a weak level 1 champion. They compensate for that by pulling Wukong from the top lane, who then chases out the opponent trio of invading champions before TPing back onto the top side of the map. So once again, a side laner sacrifices for the rest of his team, and let's see what Mad Lions does differently this time. Now, this time around, Kiana simply chooses to full clear to a stop, and there's some intelligent decision making here for the Xin Zhao, going for 3 camps into top crab, into bot crab, creating a double crab scenario. However, all of this still turns out fine, as no Hyena is then able to get a gank off to the top lane, blowing the opponent Graves TP and securing a good base for Armut on the Wukong. This then enables Kiana to then full clear once again from bot to top, giving her access now with the Wukong's matchup stabilized, allowing her to take up the topside crab at 657, hitting level 6 at the timing. And this is what the CS numbers look like at this timing. Compared to what RNG had, I would have to say Mad Lions' follow-up after the initial level 1 defense was a lot more apt and appropriate, keeping the jungler in a good spot. Now the important thing here is that if you are going to be pulling a side laner to sacrifice for you early, it is extremely important that the jungler is able to compensate for that accordingly. So in this case, instead of going for a pure uh, for the pure jungle gap, it was important that Alioya, the jungler for Mad Lions, was able to then help Armut, the Wukong in the top lane, who initially blew his own TP to help defend the level 1 invade, secure a good base of his own so that he can stay in the game and then help Elioya in exchange defend his topside camps. So to look back at this, if we were to look at the original scenario once again, the right idea would be to full clear to a spot to then help out your bot lane in some form to secure them a good base and make sure that their status is in good condition so that they are able to then help you secure your bot side quadrant of the jungle. And this was today's lesson from the second day of the World's Group stages. Uh, I think so far there's been a lot of interesting games. I personally think that the current favorites to win it, the team in the hottest streak of form, is currently EDG. They're responding really well to the meta game. We covered a little bit of that when we talked about responses to Yumi yesterday, and I'm looking forward to what other games are happening. If you enjoyed this type of content, please do consider giving this video a like and subscribing to my channel. Um, that will be it. Have a nice day and get hyped for Worlds.